All right, so what is negative self-talk? Why do we even have negative self-talk? And most importantly, how do we get rid of negative self-talk? That's the topic of today's episode, so let's dive right in. So in order to start looking at even getting rid of a negative self-talk, we must first understand what negative self-talk is and why we even have negative self-talk. So first of all, what is negative self-talk? Well, negative self-talk is when you have a negative bias about yourself. When you are saying something negative about yourself, something that you probably wouldn't say to other people, but you say it to yourself. Negative self-talk is basically thinking that you can't do something, or you're not worthy of something, or that you're a failure, or that you're not good enough, or you beat yourself up for missing certain things. Negative self-talk is basically saying anything that goes against building yourself up and creating the best version of yourself. So if you have negative self-talk, you're just shitting on yourself all the time, and you're not being a positive influence for yourself. And just talking negative about yourself gets you nowhere. If anything, it just makes you feel worse, which becomes this spiral of negative self-talk, which leads into low self-worth, low confidence, you name it. So if you've had or have negative self-talk, this episode is for you, because I'm going to tell you exactly why I specifically have negative self-talk and why you may be having negative self-talk, and how I've helped myself deal with negative self-talk to turn it into positive praise, and hopefully how you can do the same thing. So the biggest reasons why we tend to have negative self-talk is due to guilt and shame. When we do something or don't do something that we should have done, we partake in this victim mentality, and we have emotions of usually guilt or shame. Sometimes we'll have anger or some other reasons, but at the end of the day, most of those come down to either guilt or shame, where we feel guilty for doing something or not doing something, or we shame ourselves for doing something that we shouldn't have done, or not doing something that we should have done. So this could be you thinking that you are a failure because you failed to go to the gym 3 days in a row like you said you would. Negative self-talk can come about if your significant other leaves you and now you're thinking that you're not good enough, or you did something wrong to upset them and that's why they left. Negative self-talk could be as simple as, why the fuck did I eat this donut when I know it doesn't align with my goals? Negative self-talk can be as simple as, fuck, I overslept again, even though I told myself I would get up early in the morning. Negative self-talk comes about when you knew you were going to do something, but you didn't, or you did something that you know you shouldn't have done. So why do we even do this negative self-talk? So first of all, yeah, we always want to do what we think we should do. We should always strive to do the best that we can. But why do we even have negative self-talk? Why does that even happen? So first and foremost, we do it because we are not aligned with our higher self. Our higher self is that God frequency, that connection with God. Once we're tuned into that, we know exactly what we need to be doing. And if subconsciously we know what we need to be doing, but we actually don't end up doing that, that's when the negative self-talk starts to happen. And it's because we're not aligned with that God frequency. We aren't doing the things that we know we need to be doing. We know we're not doing the things that God has spoken to us about and told us that we need to be doing. And it's that very, very subtle voice that you hear within your head that's telling you, hey, you should do this, you should do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And sometimes we don't listen to that voice. And when we don't listen to that voice, eventually we start to realize that, hey, I'm actually having negative self-talk because I'm not doing this thing. If you hear that you should start eating healthier, but you don't do it, you'll start feeling like shit because you know you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Sometimes we have negative self-talk because we're wandering off into the future or into the past, not realizing that the only truth is the here and now. If we can remain in the present moment, there's not going to be any negative self-talk because there's not going to be a reason for negative self-talk. Now, if we are trying to plan for the future, there is a disconnection between the present moment and the future where you want to be, then you're going to start to have negative self-talk. If you're thinking about the past, that's also disconnected from the present moment. That past is already gone, and now you may start to ruminate on, wow, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and that's where the disconnection happens, and you'll start to have negative self-talk. All because you strayed away from the present moment. You started thinking about the future or you started thinking about the past. You're no longer in the present moment. If you are in the present moment, negative self-talk cannot exist there. And typically when we are having this negative self-talk, that means that in that moment, our ego is in control versus our soul. You're not thinking from the soul level, you're thinking from the egoic mind. You are not connected to the God frequency, you're connected to the material world. You're allowing the negative frequencies to affect you. You're allowing the negative frequencies to take over, which the negative frequencies are that self-talk, or at least that negative self-talk. Or you could just be lost in the mind stuff. You could just be thinking about certain things which will bring about negative self-talk. So there are plenty of reasons on why somebody would start to have negative self-talk. And one of the biggest things is you must be aware of when you're having that negative self-talk, because self-awareness is key. If you're not aware that you are having this negative self-talk, chances are you're not going to change it. Chances are you're going to continue on this spiral of that negative self-talk, and it'll just continue getting worse and worse. So now that you know why we sometimes partake in negative self-talk, you'll be a lot better at catching yourself when you are having this negative self-talk. So you'll start gaining more self-awareness of when this negative self-talk kicks in, and then you'll want to change it. Now you want to fix this negative self-talk through various different modalities. Now it's very possible to fix the negative self-talk. First, you must catch yourself having that negative self-talk and you must flip it. You must do certain things that allow you to forget about that negative self-talk, get it completely out of your head, and focus more on other things like the present moment. So there are several things that I was able to ingrain in my life that helped me to stop that negative self-talk. I mean, it still happens from time to time, but I'm able to have that self-awareness of, hey, I'm having this negative self-talk. Let's use what we've learned and figure out how to get beyond that negative self-talk and into being more productive and being a more valuable member of society, pretty much. So the first thing is you must control the controllables. If you can control something, great, control it. If you cannot control something, then don't worry about it. Don't spend your time trying to change it when you know you cannot control it. So things that you can control is your sleep schedule, what you eat, whether you exercise or not, pretty much anything that has to do with self, for the most part, you can control it. Now, anything outside of your control is not something that you should spend your time worrying about, because that's what causes negative self-talk sometimes. So when we try to waste our time on controlling the uncontrollables, we have more negative self-talk because we may think that we're not worthy enough or that we're not able to do something about it. But the reality is it's uncontrollable. It's not under our control, so there's no reason to even worry about it. Now, another important thing on how to actually get rid of negative self-talk is to stay in the present moment. So be here now. That's why I actually have this tattoo here. That's one of the first tattoos I've gotten on my wrist. And every time I look down, there's a reminder, be here now, because this present moment is all we have. The future is not ever going to come because the future is something that's made up. So even tomorrow is the future, but tomorrow never comes. It's always here and now. And the past is long gone. Now it's just a memory in our mind. So stay in the present moment, be here now, forget about the future, forget about the past. Yes, there comes a time when you must actually think about the future and setting goals and stuff like that. But once you have that, once you know what your goals are, drop it. Think about the present moment and start living in the here and now. Do whatever you need to do right here, right now to get you closer to that goal. But don't obsess over the goal. Don't obsess over the dream. Don't obsess over the result. Stay in the present moment and enjoy the journey of getting to where you want to go. Because at the end of the day, that's all we have. And another extremely important thing is to just do the things that your subconscious is telling you to do. If you hear that slight voice telling you to get up earlier in the morning, you must get up earlier in the morning. If you don't, if you keep suppressing it, you'll never feel fulfilled and you won't find everlasting happiness. So you must do what you know you need to be doing. You must tune in to that God frequency and listen to that inner voice of clear guidance showing you the path and what you need to do. You just have to listen to it. And another extremely important thing to do is take care of your health. So you must take care of your health in order to live a fulfilled and abundant life. Without your health, you have nothing. Health is wealth. Everybody talks about health, but I don't see a lot of people actually making an effort to improve their health. So take care of your health. That's mind, body, and spirit. All three of those need to be taken care of. Your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health all need to be simultaneously worked on. And going back to tuning in to the God frequency, if you're able to tune into that, your purpose will naturally come about. You'll know exactly what your purpose is, and you're going to take daily actions to follow that purpose. Versus if you're not tuned into that frequency, you're just going to be drifting and you're going to be in a robotic state that doesn't necessarily provide that everlasting fulfillment like purpose does. So follow your purpose, do everything you can every single day to get you closer to that purpose, and stay here in the present moment and think about, what can I do right now to align myself with my purpose? Because ultimately, we all want to live a fulfilled life. Nobody wants to live a life that's void of a meaning. Nobody wants to live a life unfulfilled. Nobody wants to live a life where they're just chasing the instant dopamine, where it doesn't last. It lasts for 5 seconds and then you're back to misery. So if you are able to be on your purpose, if you're able to align your daily habits and your mindset with your purpose, with your higher self, with the best version of yourself, then you're going to just live a more fulfilled, abundant life. And abundance and fulfillment can mean completely different things to different people depending on what your purpose is. Whatever your purpose is, your purpose can be to provide so much fucking value in the world that you're able to afford 20 supercars. You're able to open up a animal shelter. You're able to feed 1 million people a year. Like whatever your purpose is, you have to be aligned with that, and those actions that you take on a daily basis must be aligned with that. So if you want to stop the negative self-talk, you must do the things that you're being attracted to. Whatever you are attracted to, that is part of your purpose, and you must do it. For me, I love supercars. I love to drive fast cars. And part of my purpose is to do that. And the reason I know this works is anytime I get behind the steering wheel of a supercar, there's absolutely no way that I can have negative self-talk. I don't give a fuck what happened earlier or yesterday or a year ago or what's going to happen tomorrow. I just don't care, because right then and there, I'm in that present moment and nothing else is occupying my mind besides me driving that car. So that's part of my purpose. Me going on amazing vacations where I go to exotic locations is part of my purpose, because I know when I have done that in the past, I always feel so much better. I always feel in the present moment. I'm not thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. I'm always there and I'm enjoying everything, and I'm enjoying being in that present moment more than I do when I'm just routinely going through my day. So pretty much negative self-talk comes about when you are not on your path and you're not doing the things that you know you should be doing, or you're doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. And it's pretty easy to get rid of it. Just do the things that you know you should be doing. Stay away from the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. And at the end of the day, I think that's where perfection comes in, is you are completely removed from anything that doesn't serve you as a person. It doesn't align with your purpose, your path, and you completely ingrain habits in your everyday life that are connected deeply with your purpose and that make you feel alive and that bring you into the present moment, into that flow state, and away from any negativity. So if you found this valuable at all, if you have negative self-talk and you listen to this entire episode and you still need more help, feel free to reach out to me. My DMs are always open. Hit me up. Let me know what you're struggling with, and I'll help you, first of all, look at your entire life and take pretty much an inventory of your life. Like, what are you doing with your days? What are you spending your time on? And how are you thinking? Once we figure out what habits you have and what your mindset is, we're able to dissect that and then figure out, hey, these habits and this mindset is not at all conducive to your long-term goal. And we can find the ones that are, and then we can exchange the negative ones that aren't really benefiting you for new ones that are going to get you closer to where you want to be. So once we're able to dial in your daily habits and your mindset, you're able to more closely listen to that intuition and figure out what it is exactly that you want to do. And that's how your purpose comes about. Your purpose will not come about if you are engaging in habits and different mindsets, or you have different beliefs that aren't aligned with your purpose. And we all know what these habits are. We all know what these thoughts are, what these emotions are, what these beliefs are. We all know which of these is providing us a high frequency and which is providing a low frequency. We must get rid of anything that's providing that low frequency and come back to the things that are allowing us to increase our rate of vibration, which is increase our frequency. So if you need help with any of this, let me know. Again, my DMs are open. If you know somebody that is struggling with negative self-talk and you want them to learn a little bit about what negative self-talk is and how to get rid of it, feel free to share this with them and let them know that you care about them and you want to see them do better. So that's pretty much it. See you on the next one.